Last one. I think this is going to be the last. This is going to be the last. Because it's boring now, isn't it? Yeah. I'm lost in tarot. No turning back. Caught in a trap. I'm lost in tarot. I've been getting lost in tarot. Right? Caught in a trap. Is it a trap? That's the question. Is it a trap? Is it a trap? Or has it been a necessary thing to be lost in? To help kind of, you know, expedite the healing, you know. They've been saying a lot of things, right? The great Michelangelo Betio said, well, he was quoting for Henry Ford when he talked about, when he said the Henry Ford quote, right, where he said, if you think you're right and you think you're wrong, you're right both ways. In other words, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So in terms of the tarot thing, I'm going, someone might look at that and go, that's a load of bullshit. But the thing is, if the verisimilitude levels are off the chart, if the truth levels are off the chart, then it's real. And as I said in a previous video, if some anonymous person on the internet is telling me the things that I think should be said, some things that actually are actually real. In other words, they're telling me, they're helping me wake up. They're helping me wake up. If they're saying things that are what I need to hear to build me up, then it's good. I think it wasn't any coincidence that I was drawn to these things because, as I've said before, you start waking up to the fact that you're not really getting back from people what you really think you should deserve. Everyone's got their own thing that they're into, but I'm just trying to keep myself in a good place, you know. Some of the things they were saying were bang on point. Saying things like, you know, the people suffering their karma because of the way they treated you, right? And all that kind of thing. It's actually true. Narcissists, you know, talking about all these different things, talking about narcissists, how they drained your energy. That's true. Let's look at the evidence. What else? Saying how you're living your best life now. You isolated yourself from everyone because you realised just how much folk were pulling you down. I mean, I'm not some diva, but equally I'm going, no one's really resonating on the level I'm at. The things that I care about, the things I'm interested in. I'm not interested in your kind of wee immature, petty kind of talk and bullshit. You got to get to the heart of things. And these tarot folk have helped me align with that. So it's been really quite good. There was a lady last night talking about, to all you lone wolves out there, I'm a lone wolf and I'm hungry like a wolf. And I'm hungry like a wolf, yeah. And they were talking, she was talking about last night, she was saying, look, folk hate you just for being yourself. Be yourself, you can't be anybody else. Be yourself is my advice to me, or else I'll always be a nobody. So be yourself, or and she was saying let's just off the top of my head explore some of the things that these tarot people have been saying. And she was saying last night, it was really quite good. She was saying the synchronicities, it wasn't even synchronicities, it's just it's what it is, you know. Because I was talking about the same things. I was saying that when I pop up in a room with certain people, you know, turn up in a room with people with their problems, I'm not interested in your problems, I got problems of my own. You know, life's not about that, is it? Let me talk about my problems endlessly, because I think, you know, maybe Dave's got some solutions, or maybe Dave's got to be a sounding board, because that's what Dave really wants in his life. That's what Dave wants in his life, to sit in a room with people hearing about their problems. That's really what I need in my life. What I need in my life is to be concentrated on what I'm doing, whatever that is. And it certainly doesn't include listening to folk and their problems and their petty grievances. I like interesting conversations, and I've had a few of those, you know, that's all cool, you know, but folk are still on this script of sit and talk about my problems, and then maybe that'll spark up some really interesting conversation. No, I don't want to hear about your problems. But one of the ladies last night, she was talking about how you're like to all the lone wolves out there, and I'm kind of like a lone wolf, because what I'm doing is I'm just being myself. In a world of conformity, being yourself is seen as the manifestation of some sort of personality disorder, isn't it? But who has the disorder? Those who are conforming and not being themselves, and not being free, and not saying what they want to say, because they're scared of what other people think, you know. Who's the disordered one? Me or them? I'd say it's them. But anyway, she's saying that all I've ever done, and again, like I've said before, in terms of this period being a good period of reflection, I've reflected on the fact that my entire life, that's all I've been doing, being myself. And in a world of toxicity and conformity and negativity, it's quite difficult to be yourself sometimes. Like you're giving out your true opinions and your true energy, and people invariably take from it, or they can't accept you being yourself. I mean, I do that. I accept people for who they are. Some people haven't got the script yet. They don't know what that is. I don't know how to accept other people for who they are. So she was saying that all you ever do... It was a glorious celebration, this little 17-minute long tarot video. It was a glorious celebration. Glorious celebration of me and my life, and the fact that I'll be whoever the fuck I want to be. I know who I am, and I'm being who I want to be. And I'm not going to compromise that for anyone. You know, she was saying that she was saying that I just turn up in a room and people are instantly in some kind of silent competition with me, which I've said before. They're in a silent competition with me, and it's like, it's kind of laughable for a number of reasons, but one of the reasons is I'm not anything special. I'm just like a bit different to most folk, but is that so difficult to deal with? You know, like, so she was saying that meanwhile they're in silent competition with me, all I'm doing is just being my fucking self. And they interpret everything you say as like you're trying to one-up them because they're projecting their own Psychology, projection. They're projecting their own sense of their own insecurities onto you, and I'm waking up to this. I'm waking up to the fact that a lot of people are projecting their own silent hate, which she talked about as well. Oh, the synchronicities, the silent hate. They're projecting their own silent hate. They're projecting their own kind of insecurities onto you, so they can't accept you, so they give you silent hate, they give you whatever, they don't accept anything you're saying in the heart that it's given. You know, I'm giving things with a pure heart, just saying things, giving out things, whatever, and it's not taken in the spirit that it's meant. So moving forward, it's very important, and as I say, these tarot ladies have helped me get some of the strength back that I've lost from these joy killers. That you've got to recognize when you've got to recognize the bad energy, right? And when it's you and when it's the other person. And I'm waking up to my entire life. I'm going, all that bullshit that's come at me, right, has come at me from people with their own problems. And meanwhile, the whole time, I'm just being like a normal person, not harming anyone. And I think that was the source of a lot of my issues in life. As I say, I'm waking up to this. A lot of my issues in life were based on the fact that, you know, transference or whatever. I took on board other folks' negative energy thinking there was something wrong with me. And I'm waking up to the fact that the whole time it's because there was something wrong with them. I'm the gift. I'm the glorious gift in the room. Yes? When I turn up and I put my best foot forward and I give something nice and it's taken the piss out of, it's you know, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And as I've said before, when I have talked, maybe it was a bit like inappropriate occasionally, how I've brought certain things up, like, oh, do you want to hear my story about this, right? And then they didn't like it. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. And they were eating, or I was eating the situation, or they were eating their they were eating what I was giving them and becoming sick on it. And I'm going, well, that's your problem, not mine, because the nutritious gift that I'm giving you is worthy, is good, is a positive thing that I'm giving here. And if you're becoming sick on it, then obviously you must be sick. You know what I mean? So moving forward, isolation from people that I don't sync with. It's been quite an enjoyable holiday season. In a number of reasons. It's been quite illuminating, or quite enlightening on an even higher level. You know, it's sort of like having a wee conversation with the elders and the ancestors, and they're saying, yeah, Dave, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Have confidence in what the fuck you and who the fuck you are, and what the fuck you're saying and what you're about. Have confidence in that, and don't let anyone pull you off that. Just things like turning up at the fucking, like it's been, the holiday season has been sort of, I've got myself out there a little bit, just following my nose and doing the odd thing. And the kind of synchronicities that have happened, it's been quite unbelievable. See if I wrote them down, it'd be quite a book. I'm actually doing it now, I'm writing it now. In a sense, turning up places, and then coincidentally some person that I've not seen in a while pops up coincidentally. Just beautiful wee happenstances and things that have happened. And I turned up at it, but it's not all been positive. Well, it has all been positive. Even the negative's been positive. Because like stuff like turning up at the Robert the Bruce, walking in the Robert the Bruce, right, and going, feeling like energetic and feeling like, yeah, this is cool, even though I'm just walking about on my own and I'm not meeting anyone. I turn up on my own and I go in there feeling like quite on top of the world, and after like half an hour I'm starting to be pulled down by the energy in the room. I can feel the energy encroaching upon me slowly, and I'm going, what the fuck am I doing here? What the fuck am I doing here? Why am I in a place where most people seem to be, and I'm not paranoid, it's just, it's real. I can't go to certain places anymore. Why would I knew this ages ago. Why am I going into certain places that isn't resonating with the way I feel? Why am I going into the Robert the Bruce and sitting there having people look at me like, who's this weirdo? And it's like, so I sat, you know, I went into the Robert the Bruce, I walked in there, you know. I left my horse outside, you know. Tied my horse up, walked in there, looked in everyone's eyes, as if to say, look up at the Bruce. Look up at that Bruce mural on the ceiling and release fear. And I walked on. And rather than look up at the Bruce and do what I kind of suggested that they should do, they looked at me as if to say, who are you, you fucking weirdo? So then I just looked up at the Bruce myself. The Bruce on his horse. And I ascended onto Bruce's horse and galloped the fuck out of there and went on my way, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But I did have a few that I only drank a couple of times. The best two times I had, it was a good, it was a proper wee, I wouldn't say rave, but it was a nice wee, it was cool. We had a cool wee party at the Lantern, and then Robert came down and it was like a wee private party. We were in the Baileys and that was really quite cool. It was really quite special. It was quite special. And that kind of ties into my point. It's like, I'm going to be very careful about the situations I get myself involved in, you know. Like, I've got to protect myself. This shit's too valuable. This shit's too valuable. You know, it's like, I'm not going to be going into any Tom, Dick and Harry pub. I didn't think they deserve my presence, you know. Will they mistreat me? Will they abuse this? Because there's been a track record of other people abusing this. So, you know what I mean? But going back to the tarot thing, because it's all connected, isn't it? Tarot women. Was talking about, what, just off the top of my head, what can I think of? Yesterday I was listening to one of her things and I'm going, this is really quite helping me. Listening to her glorious words to help augment the meditation process, you know. It's not really meditation, I wasn't really trying meditation, I was just in the car driving along, and she was going, and it ties back to what I was saying earlier on, doesn't it? About, like, if you think you're right or you're wrong, you're right both ways. In other words, if you believe some of this shit she's saying, it is actually true. It is actually true to a certain level anyway, so why not go to the bank with it? I'm a person of extremes, so why not go to the bank with it? She was saying stuff like, she was saying your energy, oh, this is amazing, look at what the cards are saying. Your energy level now, you're on the level of that Gaia sublime energy now. And then when I was watching the other guy last night, he was talking about Joseph and his coat of many colours, and I'm going, because he was talking about how that wasn't to be taken literally, that story, his take on it was, he was saying that story is a symbolic story. It's talking about the aura, the energy field, and I kind of thought, yeah, that's kind of been true, because everywhere I've been going, good things have been happening to me, because my energy field's quite in a good place, you know. And he was saying that you know, so I've got my coat of many colours, you know, all the colours of the rainbow flowing down from the mountain, I'm a free man, and it is saying like all your 7 chakras are all aligned. It's really quite good. It's not like your 7 chakras are aligned all the time, is it? Like sometimes they're no. And you've got to be aware of that. You've got to know where your energy field is at. Sometimes I can feel sparks coming out of my hands. It's quite amazing. Like this warm energy coming out of my hands. It's like fucking hell. And that's after having a 5-piece select meal from McDonald's. That's no bad, is it? But you've got to protect the energy. Can't be just letting folk abuse it. You can. So but you know, I did go to the kickboxing class, right? Because as I say, I knew it was now the time. I'm like, now's the time to do this. I feel it called to me. I'm like, right, it's time to do this, time to do the kickboxing thing. And when I turned up, I'm like, it was quite good. But then afterwards, I was thinking, I don't know if that's really good moving forward, going to be good for me. It sort of ties into the energy field thing that I'm talking about, right? It's like that's what really that's what the main focus should be, isn't it? Anything else is secondary. If you're doing things and it's taken away from that, then it's not really a positive thing, is it? Because like the cycling, obviously, that keeps all my fucking chakras aligned, you know what I mean? So why would I need anything else? It was fun just to do it for one night. But you know how like your mobile phone, right, it picks up on it, can hear you talking the whole time, right? So if I say the word Mike Tyson, which I have done several times, right, obviously in Facebook, the Facebook Reels, it comes up with Mike Tyson videos. I've been watching nothing but Mike Tyson videos, and sort of got me thinking. He was a victim. He admitted that himself. He goes, he's felt like a complete pussy and a victim his whole life. His fear, only this morning watching the video and him talking about like it was the fear he suffered. He looks the baddest ass out of all of them, when in actual fact he's the most fearful and scared out of everyone, and that's why he trained himself up to be this fucking monster, so that people wouldn't fuck with him. And in terms of me thinking about trying the martial arts thing, right, I kind of thought to myself, yeah, I'm at a different level than that. Why do I need to be fighting? As I said in my post before, I said I've taken down armies, I've defeated many people just by the power of my mind. Anyway, so why would I need to fight? It was just it was an exploration. I thought I'll try this out, but I'm going, nah, maybe a lot of these people doing this martial arts things are actually victims. They feel scared. They're intimidated by people. They're not comfortable with their own body, their own aura, they haven't owned their own space. Maybe they were bullied at school or something, and they're looking to redress that. And I'll show them, and I want to be hard, so I can. But you know, if you're truly a badass, you should be able to take down people with the power of your fucking mind. I've never had to lift a hand to anyone because folk didn't fuck with me in the first place. That kind of thing. So it's ludicrous. Why am I going to do martial arts when I walk, as my mum said? Like, as I said before, she's my greatest coach, right? My mother said, walk down the street with your head held high. Look the world straight in the eye. Like that song or whatever back in the 60s or whatever it was. So I do that anyway. I can walk up the high street, sober as fuck, and take on a fucking load of people. Because I don't need to be, you don't meet violence with violence, do you? You know? Like, I get more out of taking it back to the tarot thing. I've got more out of the... I got way, as we beautifully sit here watching the group of young lads, right, and going, yeah, they're kind of like, you know, ain't it funny? All those little kids, all those discoveries ahead of them, you know,